Good morning, everyone. Now it's time to start. Welcome to the Windward Buddhist Temple Remembrance Service. My name is Lisa Fujikawa, and I will be your MC for this morning. We will begin with the ringing of the temple bell, or Kansho, that signifies the beginning of a temple service. It is a deep and sacred ritual steeped in ancient tradition. It is the calling of the people to come together to listen to the Dharma, or the teachings. The temple bell represents the gratitude and deep appreciation of the members, friends, and guests of the Windward Buddhist Temple. Please sit quietly in your seat. If you are able, please rise for the meditation, followed by the chanting of the Vandana Ti-Sarana by the congregation in Pali and English in the red Jodo Shinshu Service book on page 7. Please be seated. Reverend Soul will lead us in the Sambujo on page 9 in the red Jodo Shinshu book.
Once again, fondly remember our departed loved ones who have gone on to the other shore of enlightenment, the land of peace and eternal bliss, Amida Buddha's pure land. We pay them honor, respect, and gratitude for their lasting influence in our lives that enables us to continue existing and living the Nembutsu path. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu.
We will now have the remembrance of those individuals who passed away in the month of January of any year. Reverend Kalu will hit the gong several times to start. Then the names of the deceased will be announced. Please go forward to offer incense. Reverend Kalu will hit the gong after each name. and after the last name is called and the incense offered, he will hit the gong several times. Then go directly to the Sutra 12 Homages in the red Jodo Shinshu Service book on page 120. Alfred Tatsuguchi. Otojiro Asada and Amy Oyadamori. Sparky Yamamoto. Sharon Kukino. Yukie Uno. Kyoko Lillian Ueda. Chisato Chick Maebo Hulk. Shiseo Fukumoto and Rei Fukumoto. Colleen Quinn. Flora Inaba and Terry Hisashi Oishi.
In Buddha's wondrous pure land, bodhisattvas gather round, golden form like the mountain king, steadfast like the elephant's pace, Buddha's eyes like the blue lotus. Thus I bow to Amida, Buddha's form round like the moon, bright like thousand suns and moons, Buddha's voice like the nightingale. Thus I bow to Amida, Buddha's figure on Kanon's crown, adorned with wondrous features. Buddha subdues evilness. Thus I bow to Amida, beyond compare Amida's pure virtue shining clear like space. All benefit from Buddha. Thus I bow to Amida, bodhisattvas all renowned, Maras to praise Amida, primal vow made for our sake. Thus I bow to Amida, golden ponds where lotus bloom, ours a throne of goodness. Buddha lives like the mountain king. Thus I bow to Amida, happiness. They reveal the Buddha's face. Thus I bow to Amida. All life changes like the Jew. We have no permanent self. Buddha teaches this law to all. Thus I bow to Amida. No evil in the Pure Land, and no fear of evil paths. Faithful hearts honor Buddha. Thus I bow to Amida, saving us through many ways. No tempters, no evil friends. Birth leads to enlightenment. Thus I bow to Amida. Amida, thus I have praised virtues boundless like the sea. These virtues shared with others for birth into the Pure Land.
If you are able, please rise for the recitation of the Shinshu Pledge that will appear on this screen. I take my refuge in the vow of the Buddha. Reciting his sacred name, I will live through life with strength and serenity. I adore the light of the Buddha. I will put my effort in my work with self-reflection and gratitude. I follow the teachings of the Buddha.
Discerning the right path, I will spread the true Dharma. I rejoice in the compassion of the Buddha. I will respect and help others and do my best for the welfare of humankind.
Please continue to stand for the Gatha Hotokesama 2 in the new Praises of the Buddha book on page 93. Please be seated. Our Dharma talk today will be given by Reverend Soul Kalu.
Hello. Okay. Just testing. Let's put our hands together in Kansho. In this world, hate never yet dispelled hate. Only love dispels hate. This is the law, ancient and inexhaustible. The words of Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Good morning, aloha everyone, and thank you again for spending a portion of your precious time to come to the temple and listen to the Dharma. Most people nowadays would rather stay home on Sundays, drink beer or watch television than go to church or temple services. That's the truth, yeah? Well, so it is encouraging that there are still those who take care of their spiritual needs as much as their worldly ones. And I'm, of course, referring to you all. Thank you very much. Today I'm going to talk about something that's rather outside of Buddhism, but still it incorporates the Buddha's basic teachings. Anyway, the first major service we observed this month of January is the Hoonko, or the anniversary of the passing away of the founder of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, Shin Shonin. And I am very pleased to receive a message from our guest speaker last Sunday, Reverend Murakami, of how he noticed the dedication and willingness of all of you members here to embrace the Nembutsu teachings. That's during the time he came here last Sunday. And the next significant day in this first month of 2025 is not Buddhist related, but rather we are observing a day that was declared a federal holiday in the year 1983 and became a holiday in all 50 states in the year 2000. Of course, I'm referring to Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Who of you here participated in the Martin Luther King March last Monday at the Veteran? Nobody. Don't feel bad. I didn't go either. And I was too tired from my dialysis treatment. I couldn't walk anymore. That was about a mile, yeah, from Magic Island all the way to Waikiki, probably even more. So, well, anyway, some of you know who Martin Luther King Jr. is, yeah? But for those of you who don't know him, he was a civil rights leader in the 1960s decade. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was well known for advancing civil rights at a time when racial discrimination was rampantly practiced in the United States. What makes Martin Luther King Jr. best known in history is his way of fighting for the civil rights of those who constitute the minority population of this country. MLK Jr. employed nonviolence and civil disobedience, much along the lines that the other great leader, Mahatma Gandhi, advocated as a means to effect change. Nonviolence, no bloodshed, no destruction of property, no loss of life, attaining objectives in a peaceful and orderly manner. You know, the people of my own country, the Philippines, achieved that same goal, back in the late or early 80s, I believe, to what they call the People Power Revolution. At that time, people from all walks of life began a peaceful protest and civil disobedience that led to the downfall of a hated dictator. And you all know who that man was, yeah? He fled to Hawaii after he was deposed and lived for a few years in Makiki. Anyway, going back to Dr. Martin Luther King, he was a Baptist minister. His beliefs are Christian. Yet he understood and applied fully one of the Buddha's fundamental teachings, that is ahimsa, in Sanskrit, or nonviolence, in order to advance the cause for which he fought for, the unfair, divisive, and immoral treatment of minorities, specifically the African American peoples during his time. It is a sad irony, though, that it was through violence that he met his untimely demise when he was assassinated for his ideas and work on how to end racial inequality and injustice. He may be gone, but his efforts to address the issue of institutionalized racial discrimination, injustice, and segregation have contributed to the civil rights movement in the 1950s and 60s that eventually secured new protections in federal law for the human rights of all Americans. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., as one of the most remembered civil rights leaders, has left a lasting legacy not only for his active work in promoting racial justice and equality, but also for his words and quotations that continue to resonate with audiences many decades after his death. These quotations are words of wisdom that reflect the depth of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s commitment to his vision and goal of seeing that the ideals of the Constitution, that all people are created equal and entitled to the same rights, privileges, and opportunities for growth, not only by a selected few in a society, but for all, regardless of race, religion, national origin, and socioeconomic status. Let's look at a few of these quotations and try to understand their meaning further and in the Buddhist context as well. First quotation: "The time is always right to do what is right." Another way to say that is, there is no wrong time to do what is right. Right in Buddhism means wholesome actions that leads to the happiness and well-being of others and oneself. However, in Buddhism, we must be careful to apply wisdom before judging any action to be right or not right. Without applying wisdom, what we think is right may turn out to be unwholesome. For example, you give money to somebody who comes to you hungry and he says, "I want to buy food." But later on, you keep giving him, and then you found out he was not buying food with it, he was buying drugs with it. That is not helping him. We are destroying his life even more with our misguided generosity. If we combine compassion with wisdom, we can avoid this pitfall and be able to give genuine kindness that benefits the receiver. When we are aware that the consequences of what we are about to do to another is beneficial, then it is always the right time to do it. Next quotation: "Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others?" This one is tied in with the first quotation. It is persistent and urgent because it relates to how we should live our lives in accordance with the Buddha's teachings. My understanding of this quote is this: living in the present moment, always reflecting on our actions before we carry them out. Our lives are not static, but a dynamic interaction of causes and conditions, and all of our actions have consequences. Mindfulness, a fundamental teaching of the Buddha, determines how we carry out our actions, whether in thoughts, words, or deeds. We should try at least to ask ourselves every time before we do something, is what I'm about to do helping others, including myself? Does it promote peace, happiness, and comfort to others around me? Or will it cause pain and sorrow, discord and unhappiness instead? Am I doing something that will benefit others, make a difference in people's lives, or am I doing it just for my own selfish interest? Third quotation, faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. That's pretty straightforward. But I don't recommend we do it literally because we can get really hurt in the process should the staircase be not there at all. This is more about having confidence and faith in taking the first step towards an objective or moving forward even if the path towards the destination seems difficult or full of obstacles. The faith here is the faith in ourselves to use our inner strength to not be scared to face the difficulties that lay in the way towards our objective. In the religious context of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, this is the entrusting mind or Shinjin in Amida Buddha's primal vow. Do we have the entrusting mind in the Buddha strong enough that we will still continue to listen to the teachings and make it the guiding light on how we live our daily lives? When we have doubts, fears, anxieties about the difficult times in our lives, do we have the confidence and trust to unload our burden and allow the Buddha's compassion to help us handle life's adversities? We cannot see the Buddha with our eyes, yet it is our faith, if you can call it that in Buddhism, that enables us to continue walking the rocky path of life without fear or anxiety. Fourth quotation, if I cannot do great things, I can do small things in a great way. There's an old Chinese saying, there's a journey of 1,000 miles begin with a single step. There are indeed great things we would like to do if we could, like finding a cure for cancer, a cure for COVID-19, ways to produce food enough to feed the entire population of the world, and so on. But the reality of life is that we cannot possibly do everything we think is great because of our limitations. But this doesn't mean we can't or shouldn't do those things that we're capable of doing. To do small things like practicing generosity, kindness, compassion, without expecting anything in return, and done with a sincere desire to alleviate the suffering of others, is doing small things in a great way. That is the way of the Bodhisattva. Ultimately, no wholesome action is ever small. And so, these are the words of wisdom from Dr. Martin Luther King, whose birthday we commemorate this month. This set of quotations is only a small fraction of the dozens of quotations which he had said in his lifetime. The ideals for which he worked, fought, and died for are still not completely realized. Racism, exclusionism, discrimination are still present, not only in America, but in some other countries of the world. The notion of racial purity and cultural superiority, believe it or not, still exists in some countries around the world, even in modern times. But those are pure delusional thoughts in the minds of equally deluded people. Martin Luther King may be gone, but his dreams of racial equality and justice for his ideas live on. He may have been killed for his ideas, but those ideas never died with him. One cannot fight an idea by killing the person that came up with it. The same idea could be revived by another person in another time. We fight an idea, if you want to fight it, with a superior idea. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s thoughts were way above the archaic, immoral, and unjust ideas of racism and discrimination, which unfortunately still persist to this day. Let us remember Dr. Martin Luther King and the legacy he left towards a more just and equal society. He may have not been a Buddhist, but his aspiration and means to create a more just and equal society are very much in line with the Buddha's teachings on ahimsa, non-violence, and respect for all. Let's conclude with the recitation of the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sensei. If you are able, please stand for the Gatha Shinshu Anthem in the New Praises of the Buddha book on page 178, and continue to stand for the Nembutsu on page 145. And just an alert that these are new and different lyrics to this song. So you have to look at the new book on page 178.
Amida Buddha is boundless. Hence, we call him the Buddha of inconceivable light, marveling at our attainment of the Pure Land, birth all Buddhas praise and glorify Amida's virtue. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida, Namo Amida, Namo Amida.
This concludes today's service, and we will have announcements from our president, Dennis Tashiro.
Good morning, everyone. All right. Thank you, Reverend Saul, for remembering Martin Luther King. That was nice. Thank you, Lisa, for being the MC today. Alan for being a greeter. Jen for ringing the Kansho. Joy for playing the piano. And of course, Ryan is recording this service. Let's see, we have a returned guest, Barbara Ueda, a relative of Tak. Please stand, Barbara. Barbara is a member of Sacramento Buddhist Church in Sacramento. And she knows my daughter and especially my son-in-law, James Amioka. James' family, longtime members of Sacramento Buddhist Church as well. And welcome back, Cliff and Susan. Cliff is a Honoka boy, just like me and my brother Gary. Big Island people are great, right, Cookie? Who else was it? Okay, next Sunday will be our first Sunday family service. After refreshments, we'll have an intergenerational activity. It'll also be birthday Sunday. But Prudence is going to share what we're going to be doing for our activity.
Good morning. Okay. See, I have a sample now. Chinese New Year is on, what, Wednesday? Coming Wednesday, yeah? So, it's kind of after Chinese New Year, but it's still the year of the snake. Ta-da! How's that? See? You see the snake? There. So even the adults can make this, you know. So, anyway, next Sunday, I'll have it out there so you can all come up. And last year was the year of the dragon, and I remember there were adults that wanted to make the dragon. So this year I came prepared. We're going to make enough kits for the adults. See, look, you can walk around.
Thank you. You know, like a snake. Bad joke. Okay, let's see. Some of you remember the Yes Camp, but the 41st annual Yes Camp will take place this year from April 18th to the 20th at the YMCA Camp Erdman in Kailua. The yes stands for Young Enthusiastic Shinshu Seekers. This is open to anyone between the ages of 18 and 23, whether they're temple members or friends or whoever. So if you know of anyone that's interested, you can share the information. The flyer is on the bulletin board, so you can use the QR code to get more information. Then on March 8th, there will be a workshop titled The Power of Compassion, Rediscovering Your True Value, that will be held at the Hawaii Betsuing Social Hall. The workshop will also be done via Zoom on a limited basis. The speaker will be Trinidad Hunt, the granddaughter of Reverend Dorothy Hunt, the author of The Golden Chain of Love. Reverend Hunt's name also appears in several Gathas in the new Gatha book. Trinidad did several workshops during 2024 with the Hongwanji Dharma School teachers statewide. So she's a fairly dynamic speaker, so if you're interested, more information will be on the flyer that's also posted on the bulletin board. As Reverend mentioned, last week we had Reverend Shinkai Murakami, and he did a wonderful message. And he sent an email to Reverend and myself, and I was kind of touched by it, so I wanted to share with you what he sent in an email. I don't know if you can read it up there. Dear Dennis and members of Kailua Hongwanji Mission, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude and appreciation to all the members of Kailua Hongwanji and the Sangha for inviting me to your Honko service. I was deeply impressed by the Windward Temple's members' remarkable dedication and willingness to embrace the heart of the Nembutsu teachings. Your commitment and leadership have shaped today's Windward Hongwanji Temple into a wonderful community. I felt immense joy and warmth through the hospitality extended by the entire Sangha. Thank you very much for this meaningful experience. In Gassho, Reverend Shinkai Murakami. So I wanted to share with you, and I thank you all for being such a joyous and warm Sangha and representing Windward Buddhist Temple. Joy, you wanna? Joy's here, she'll talk about the Yes Camps. It goes 41 years back, but so I think she was, were you at the first one?
Oh my God. Wow. No, 16, actually. Yeah, I went to one, it was 16. It was at Camp Timberline. This is gonna be the first year that is back at a camp since the pandemic. So they had some Zoom ones, they had one at BSC, but this one's gonna be up in, you said all the details, right? So I really wanna encourage, this is not a Buddhist youth camp, it's a youth camp. So I made, like, for me personally, I made lifelong friends that were not necessarily at the church, and they may or may not have been active in Young Buddhist Association. They might have been school friends of friends from around the state, and so I also encourage the kids that I work with, but we really want to encourage, I'm not one of the counselors, but I am really involved with the people that are planning it in sort of my role as junior YB advisor, helping to push it. We really want to encourage our temples to, our temple members to encourage your kids or grandkids or their friends, and it's more fun to go with friends, especially their school friends. It's really a camp for kids to just get to know each other, learn a little bit of Buddhism, mostly have fun and bond. And it's going to be great. They're working really hard to plan it. They're doing a lot of fundraising to help offset the cost, and I guess they have a pretty good deal, like a bring a friend rate. But I really want to encourage, and you know, because of the age thing, it's really targeting not just the teenagers, but the young adults, like the college age young adults. You know, often they leave, they graduate, and they go on, and there's nowhere for them to go in that in-between stage until they're ready to come back to church as adults. So we really want to encourage, if you know any college age, you know, up to 23 young adults to check this out. Is that good? Thank you.
Thank you, Joy. Gee, Lisa, maybe Wyatt and Emma can fly back just for this. Okay. Yeah, the fundraiser that they have is California Pizza Kitchen on the 12th of February, but it's only the Pro Ridge store. So I have it. I didn't want to post it kind of, unless anybody plans to be a Pro Ridge next on the Wednesday the 12th. They provide a donation of 20% of what you purchase, so that's a good deal. But it's in Pro Ridge. Okay, are there any other messages? Yes, Roy.
Thanks to Cookie again. We got a few Vietnamese namasu. Actually, it's only like 11, but $6. And he also made Toyori Takuano Namasu. And for those that don't know Toyori, I'm going to have one open there as a sample on refreshment desk. That's $3. And we only have 11.
Okay, thank you for bitter melon namasu and chayote, yeah? Namasu. I don't know, was it a couple Sundays ago that they brought a sample and it was very delicious. So, you gotta try it. Okay, let's get ready for our refreshments. Let's do words of thanksgiving. It'll be up on the screen. We are truly grateful for this wonderful food, a gift of life. May we share its benefits with all beings. As we partake of this food, let us remember Amida Buddha's compassion, which surrounds all people and all forms of life. Namo Amida Butsu. Itadakimasu. Thank you.